Hi, everybody. I want to talk about how to find somebody who's actually right for you, how to break the mold, and a little bit about some of the common mistakes that we tend to make when we first get into relationships. So, in general, uh, how can I put it like this? We look for partners and mates who have a deep connection with us, who enrich our lives, who, I guess, um, they bring to the table skills that make up for our deficits, and vice versa. We have skills that make up for their deficits. And we tend to be attracted to people that do that, who complete us. And that's part of what I want to talk about, this whole mindset of you complete me. There's, I think it was Ice Age, maybe the first Ice Age. I think it was one of the characters, Sid the Sloth, John Leguizamo. He goes, "You complete me." Um, that's not exactly healthy. Um, I don't. It's certainly not toxic. And before people go, shaking their phones at me and shaking their fists, let me explain. The concept of you complete me can easily come from a base of codependence. And I had this realization when I was talking through some ADHD related topics in an adult ADHD support group. So I'll use that as an example because it's familiar for me. With me being ADHD, I have my good traits. I'm outgoing. I'm talkative. Generally, I can make good first impressions with people. I can be outgoing, friendly, funny. Um, I've never met a stranger, so I don't get anxiety meeting people for the first time. So I'm usually really good at opening and getting people together, those types of things. Where I fail is poor memory. So I'm horrible at completing tasks and lists of tasks. Um, if I'm if I'm told something or if I hear something or a quote or anything, I can remember it. So if I'm told something, I can remember it. If I'm told to do something, I cannot. And that's part of how ADHD works. When the task oriented parts of the brain are stimulated, it activates melatonin in the sleep response. So we're the kinds of people that the second we start any sort of major task, we just literally fall asleep. We were the kids in school who tried to do homework and fell asleep at the desk during seat work. We all know those kids just never could stay awake in class the second that the lecture was done and came time to do your work quietly at your desk, and those kids fall asleep. That's some of us ADHD kids, right? So we have those deficits, right? We're unorganized. We are very forgetful. We space out. We're very imaginative, right? But AKA we daydream, so we're just kind of sort of off in la la land. So we're easily distracted. That's the ongoing joke is, oh, squirrel, look at the squirrels, right? Just for any random thing. So what happens? Well, I know with me growing up, I was very dependent on my parents to help compensate for these deficits. And so my mother was very organized. She was always constantly reminding me. She was always making sure that I stayed on task, things of that nature. Naturally, as an adult, I started gravitating towards people who were exactly like my mother, highly organized, very task oriented, um, could remember to prompt me, those types of things. Um, and overwhelmingly, I was attracted to the types of people who had those qualities and who were maybe a little quieter or had some anxiety. So I tended to gravitate towards people who are highly organized but had anxiety. Think of like Piglet from Winnie the Pooh. Is always just kind of sort of anxious, and nervous, but definitely had applied forethought and planning to everything he did. Even though it made him nervous, he always had sort of a plan, in case shit went down. Now that is codependence. It's a certain type of codependence. And as I said before, it's not necessarily toxic, but it's not exactly healthy either. And this is the point that I want to make, and why the whole "you complete me" philosophy is bad. Is because in the beginning, you appreciate those qualities about your partner. Because you're in love, you're in the honeymoon phase, and when you're looking for love, you want somebody who completes you, as in somebody who fills in the gaps. The problem is the honeymoon phase comes to an end, and then you're left with somebody who's like a walking tornado and somebody who's highly organized. Okay? Like the two just really cannot coexist peacefully. When the honeymoon phase, quote unquote, wears off, what happens psychologically is you no longer view each other as, lovers in the night. You're no longer the erotic, sexual partner. You're a family member. Yeah. That's one reason why libido declines after the honeymoon phase, is because your status changes. You're a member of the family, and not that it's incestuous or anything like that. I would hope not, but that is one of the biggest contributing factors to loss of libido, is the fact that you are now a family member. And so when that happens, yes, you are married, but sweetie, like, families got some drama, like, all the damn time. We all had a brother or sister or cousin or aunt or uncle that nobody could stand, right? And so now that you're a member of the family, you're subjected to all of the likes and dislikes of the family. And that includes what once completed you now just annoys the shit out of you. You're hearing, why do I always have to be the one to remind you? Why am I always the one who has to clean the house? Why am I always the one who has to make social plans? Can't you ever just talk to people? Why do I have to call Bob? Like, okay, you're the one who screwed up and went over there and kicked the dog, and now I'm the one who has to defend you? Like you can't speak for yourself? How many times have I told you, like all I asked you to do was to do the dishes, and you didn't do that. You went and you started like a dozen other things, and you didn't complete a single one of them. Those types of things. So that's sort of what happens when the honeymoon wears off. So when you go out dating and you're looking for people, do this. We've all gone out to the bar, and we've all, or to wherever, and we've met somebody who caught our eye, and we were like, yeah, all right, yeah, I could totally break off a piece of that, Yeah, come on, let's go. Don't. Instead, this is what you need to do. You have to break your own mold, okay? If you've been in toxic relationships, especially if it's been more than one or two or three, you're the type of person who, for the life of you, you're starting to lose faith in the opposite sex. It's not the opposite sex. There's like 7 billion damn people. or is it 8 or 9? I don't know how many billions of people there are now. It's not the opposite sex's fault. It's your taste in mates. Okay, the problem is you. Not entirely you, because there are bad people out there, but you have to educate yourself and you have to take ownership of your own pattern. And to take ownership of your own patterns, the first thing you need to do is break your patterns. How do you do that? Surprise yourself. When you go out, look for somebody who catches your eye and then cross them off the list. And then instead, look at the people who are unassuming, the people who are unfascinating, who are unglorious, who you just like look past, right? So whenever you're scanning the crowd looking for somebody attractive, and you're like, oh, you're attractive, you're attractive, you're attractive. Those are the people you're not going to go for. You're going to go for the people who are off your radar, because that's the territory that you need to start exploring. Because recognize this, you're attracted to people that are not good for you. And to break out of that, you've got to expand your horizons and expand your experiences with different types of people. And that includes expanding your experience with the people who you would not normally be attracted to in the very beginning. Now, it's not saying don't go home with people that you find ugly and unattractive. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying look for somebody who is not your normal taste in human beings, and go talk to them and target friendship. Don't target romance, don't target relationship. Target friendships. And it can be a good open conversation with them. Whenever they're talking about, so why are you talking to me? Like what brought you to the door here? And you say, I've been in bad relationships. I'm taking a break from relationships, and instead, I've recognized that I need to make new friends, new types of friends, just all around new friends, and expand my social circle, and figure out what it is that I'm doing wrong and identify what I need to do different, and then move forward. I'm not looking to make you like my wife. I'm not looking to make you my girlfriend. I'm looking for friends, and you seem really cool, and you seem like somebody that would be a good friend. Like literally, I'm looking to make a friend zone friend, right? Don't make that your opening line, by the way. That's for like later when they're asking you to explain themselves. But in any case, that's the route you need to go. You need to expand your horizons and start experiencing people who you would not normally experience. That's the only way that you're going to get any kind of reliable data and any reliable means to compare how other people are compared to the people you are normally with. And you will learn a lot about yourself, and you'll realize just how poorly you've been selecting. Happened with me. And I'm glad that I did. I stepped out of my mold and tried something different, and I'm remarried now with some daughters, and that's pretty cool. So, anyways, thank you very much for listening. Stop looking for the people that complete you, and instead find the people who you're curious about and find out how you can interact with them and how do you fit and interface with the people who do not necessarily complete you. You can still interface with them some way, and there's still a way to fit them into your life. You'll figure it out as you go. Anyways, thank you very much for listening. Please like, comment, or share. I'll see you on the next video.